it wouldn't work. So we're starting up now. So if you can, you just want to kind of set some intentions as we begin to harmonize with this innate stillness, that quiet and calm within us. Look within your own beingness and try to gather a purpose here. For why is it that you seek to get back into harmony with that quiet and calm, that silence within? When you hear the first 3 taps of the singing bowl, take a long, deep inhale with each sound of the bowl as it rings. As you exhale, transform it into a powerful and mighty Om. Allow yourself to lower the jaw, relax the mouth so that A note can resonate, and as you close it, the U and the M will form naturally. I lovingly invite you back into the recognition of your position for this harmonizing with stillness, within the stillness itself, is simply being and allowing your natural radiance to be. Come home to this knowing that you are that witness. The internal happenings are observed by you. So remain in your position as that viewer, like you're watching a movie, silently. Pay no attention to the temporary. Anything that arises within this internal experience is but a cloud passing by. But remember, you are the sky itself in which all happenings arise in. When you hear the final tap of the singing bowl, shift your attention to that ringing, and as it fades and goes into the silence, so too, shift your focus and attention to the space, the gaps, the quiet and calm in between the thoughts, the emotions, and sensations. Harmonizing, coming back to that equilibrium, is just like tuning anything else. But in life, we recognize the disharmony by the tensions, by the chaos, by the sensations observed. And it's in this very aspect of change that our own beingness becomes entertained. The happenings, the coming and goings. It's very easy to get caught up, to become consumed, when our position isn't understood or fully realized. So take a moment here to assert yourself in this knowing that you are the witness to everything that arises within and around you. Release the body of breath here. Take a long, deep inhale. When you feel the body isn't full of air, continue to take a few big, deep breaths and simply hold. It's in this practice of simply slowing down the breathing that we adjust the tone that arises within the form. Release the breath whenever you feel the need. And again, take slow, deep, rhythmic breaths. Holding just as long as you took the air in. And exhaling again in equal fashion. Remaining empty of breath in the same duration. It's this simple process of giving the body a task that is the first step to truly harmonizing within. Giving the physical form its own duty and obligation to be in charge of is what you can do in this position of the witness. And as the body focuses on the breath, the lesser energies that are usually running around internally are sent to this objective. Not only this, the energies of the body become harmonized. Every exhale releases bodily tension. Every inhale is that restoration of more love and light. And as you hold with air and without, the body can integrate and assimilate that in which it needs. But one must come to question, what are they still drawn towards internally? What thoughts, what patterns, what emotions, what heart pulls take you out of this recognition that you are the witness? For if we cannot recognize that in which we are entertained by, we will always be pulled off this center point. So how does the body convince you? What are the tricks of this cunning fox that we call the ego? And instead of looking at this in a combative fashion, see it as a play. For the body, that egoic representation itself is this forever child of life, this animal no different than the rest of the kingdom in which we live in. So come to understand the play of your own internal space. To continue to build that intimacy with the stillness, with the calm, the quiet within. You can take these deep, relaxed breaths and transform them even further by taking quick inhales through the mouth and out the mouth. And it's this sense further that we continue to pump the body with prana, with chi. And as this physical form has many tasks to do in this sense, the internal phenomena become diverted into sending all the energy, all of the love, deep within the cells, wherever it needs to. Again, it's here, you are the rider upon the horse, so give it a task. Release the body of breath here. And begin to take 33 breaths in through the mouth and out through the mouth, ensuring that you fill up the lower abdominal wall first before you fill up the chest. And again, continue to rest. Whether you choose to fill the body with air and hold, or empty it and hold, it matters not. What should be readily observed is the internal phenomena ceasing, the dropping away of all internal tensions, and that jubilation, that excitement tingling within and around. So simply rest. If you feel that the body still has much internal activity, continue to do the 33 breaths. But most importantly, come to appreciate the quiet. It's here we fall back in love with what we are. It's only in this effortless state of being that we can finally relax internally. And that aroma of what we are can be readily observed through a relaxation, through a calm, a gentleness. So continue to rest in this simple mode of being. And again, the moment you feel the body begin to continue the internal tensions and happenings, return to the breath. It's the ability that we can clean this slate, that we can empty the whiteboard within, to be clear, to be concise. And it's this own refinement of our inner environment that the body itself comes back home to the knowing that this truly is what it always wanted. It's the recognition that everything you've ever wanted and sought out is already within you. But it's our identification with the lesser aspects, the constant happening, that the gaze and window of our own awareness is always darting back and forth between phenomena. But that it's not. For the truth is, everything is always happening simultaneously as you are observing it. But that in which you give affection towards, of this attention you give life to. So what arises when you give your attention to the calm? What arises when you give your attention to the stillness within? The phrase, "don't do, simply be," comes into mind. And know that it is not a thought that arises, but that love for rest. It's the calm and the peace, the gentleness that the body is always seeking in this world of chaos and constant change. But it is a slippery slope in that recognition of whatever you are entertained by and identify with, you quickly become. So return home. Return back to this effortless knowing in the heart. Mm. Mm. What within you serves as that temptation to be pulled away from this stillness? Come to know that that is the cunning fox within, trying to challenge you, testing you, to determine your dedication to this knowing, to your truth. But the most important thing here is to recognize that there is no mistakes in this process. If you find yourself walking off the path with that cunning fox, simply return back to the main, middle path, in between all of the happenings. For every time you identify the cunning tricks and distractions, the avenues of affection and attachment, you naturally return stronger back to this equilibrium. That is the quiet. Only you know what you need in this harmonization. So allow your heart to guide you in it. For just as our throne of the soul is but a simple position of rest, it operates like a flower that will only open up and blossom when the inner space is fully calm and relaxed. For the heart is the gentle aspect of our spirit. And we don't want the petals blowing away in the chaos of the mind. We don't want the aroma of that knowing to be caught up in the lesser emotions that are temporary. So fall in love with that quiet, that calm, that gentleness within. Release the body of breath here. And take a slow, deep inhale. Again, filling the body up with air when you feel it's full. And a big, effortless sigh of relief. Simply breathe, detaching yourself from the intimacy of controlling the breath, but a gentle and subtle observation of the inner, the outer, and that knowing of the witness that you are. When you hear this final tap of the singing bowl again, bring your attention back to the bowl as it rings. And as you draw in that breath, transmute the exhale into a gentle allowing that heart to sing. And just as with this divine chord, shift your attention fully to the fourth note of the divine the silence after. Namaste. I bow to the divine within you. Thank you so much for tapping in this morning. It's really practice of subtleties with this one. And only you know the medicine you need for it. But the recognitions that arise when we come to understand what is it that we get distracted by internally? What is the loudest thought or emotion or sensation that really takes us off of our seat of inner calm? That is ultimately the task that we need to figure out. Because that's the challenge of the internal space. What's taking you off your center? And are you going to be dedicated to coming back to that truth within? That seems like the really big call to action right now is for each of us is to come to look at what is it we seek out of this path? And the second would be, are we going to put ourselves in the position to make it happen? Because life is going to test us and challenge us to be dedicated. And I know personally, if I go off that path, I get humbled hell hard. And it's always the lessons we need so we can remain in that truth that we know, that innate love. But again, when we become entertained, we show too much affection for the internal phenomena within that realm of, where does the truth end and the imagination begin comes into play. Because we become attached with the temporary, ultimately false. And it leads us into trouble, leads us into the lessons that remind us, hey, don't forget what you were talking about. Don't forget what you were doing. And life has a great way of showing us exactly what we need to really cut the deepest if we're sincere about it. So I hope that the little breath work can help you really just wipe the whiteboard clean, de-dust the inner space, and help you come back to your center and remain there. Yeah. So with that, may the fruit of knowledge offer a seed, and in that seed may your love, will, and intuition get life and nourishment. For a tree shall grow, and in its shade may you find peace, and offer peace to all whom ask. Namaste. I bow the divine within you. Thank you so much for tapping in. I will see you Wednesday. Forgetting what day it is. It's been a blur. Talk to you later. Peace.